We are Movie Menu Reviews, your podcast should you choose to listen. On today's menu, we'll be reviewing Mission Impossible Fallout. Welcome, ladies and gents. I'm Dan the Man Munoz, host of Movie Menu Reviews, your weekly movie news and reviews podcast on episode 197.
Yes, 197.
That's three
Live.
more till we're canceled.
Yeah.
Live on Facebook with special guest Cory Zerbe.
Cory!
Hello.
CEO of Hookah News Industries.
CEO, thought leader.
Thought
Yeah,
leader.
which is doing better than MoviePass. So well done. You guys are blooming right past us.
Yeah.
Not us, obviously.
Yeah,
we
we have no
MoviePass.
affiliation with MoviePass.
No, not
We're
really.
responsible for their failure.
Also responsible for our failure is my co-host, Senior Panelist Z. Yay!
You're welcome.
Applause.
And someone who's not helping in the case is my co-host, Mike Said.
Yay! Never helping.
Now, is Mike the
Clap.
CFO, thought leader of Hookah News Industry, or what's Mike's title?
He doesn't know math, so he can't be the CFO.
CTO?
This is true.
He could be the CTO.
What's CTO?
Thought leader, singular thought.
He only has one thought.
My thoughts are singular. It's a 50 Shades of Grey line. I don't know why I'm quoting a 50 Shades of Grey line.
Is that from 50 Shades?
That's actually 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, you're right.
Why would you do that, Mike?
He doesn't know what 50 means.
I don't.
Yeah.
It was a word I heard in
He
the
read
movie.
it somewhere.
So I just want to say thank you guys for holding in the fort last week with me being at Comic-Con.
Yeah, we did an awesome job. High five, Mike.
I don't know.
There you go.
Awesome. it was manageable.
It was entertainable for sure.
Entertainable. I don't think
That's not even a word.
but,
Yeah,
It was so
I
good.
think-
It was so good we had to make up a word for it.
I
exactly.
think it fits in this occasion because this show was made up last week.
Of words?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
So I'm back from Comic-Con. I survived
Welcome
it.
back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How are your feet?
His
His wings
I don't
are
have
tired.
feet right now.
Are we supposed to look that way?
We could.
Yes, we
Okay.
could.
Y-
'Cause I see you like looking at the camera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like to look at the camera.
Okay.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Even when there's no camera, I just look at the camera.
he actually does that. He just looks into nothing. We're like, Dan, there's no camera anymore.
That is true.
We're not making that up. Dan actually does it. He'll like
There's-
do his hand out like this
That's
to
what
the
he
camera,
thinks. That's what they think, though. But they don't know is that I always have a camera there.
Oh,
and that's because you're psychotic.
yeah.
I
He
must
has
be
a
if I'm
drone that
friends
follows
with
you around.
Yeah.
Or there's a drum. Yeah, exactly. Continue. Comic-Con.
So Comic-Con 2018, I went all 4 days plus preview night, which was a lot of fun. I met some really cool people. I posted a lot of pictures on our Instagram and on our Facebook, so check those out. We got a shout out from Rocket Raccoon, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And I went to some smaller panels and didn't get to the big ones because you have to go up a whole day of Comic-Con to get there.
That's crazy.
So the Comic-Con, I had a blast. I had so much fun. There wasn't a lot of movie stuff going on this year. They did have like Halloween, Glass, Godzilla, but they didn't have a lot of like comic book. And I don't know if it's because the Marvel wasn't there or just like DC just had Shazam and Aquaman. They didn't have too much to display.
Yeah.
So this was a much quieter Comic-Con than normal.
That's good though.
Yeah.
That means it's going back to its roots because the problem was that the entertainment industry just flooded that place.
I say quiet, but there was. I mean, all the only movie studios weren't there was Disney. Everyone else was still there.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was still a lot of fun to watch. Check out all the images I took and of cosplayers and cool stuff that were there. Also, what happened during Comic-Con, we're going to go into the next movie news story, which was the firing of James Gunn, which was a huge shock at Comic-Con. I got tweeted and text message and Facebooked asking me what was going on.
Tweeted you and
Yeah.
texted you.
Personally, yeah, he was like, Dan, did
What
you
do
see
I
the
do?
news?
Bad news.
asking me if I knew what was going on, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was at Comic-Con. I did not. No one at Comic-Con knew right away.
Yeah.
We found out later on. So craziness happened. Z or Mike, do you want to take over the story?
Yeah, Mike.
Sure. So years ago, James Gunn had tweeted some jokes in poor taste. I guess there were
There were a couple of pedophile jokes. They were intentionally humorous and not to be taken serious.
It's not so much pedophilia, just the wording that he did.
Yeah.
Because he's like the baby, like, you know.
No, they're bad jokes.
They're bad.
And it's clear that was a humor. But
and we're going to read all of them right
live on air.
But so then some right-wing political figure found these tweets and they resurfaced, and James Gunn got fired from Disney for it. And so since then, since the initial firing of it, a lot of people have actually been signing a petition for it. Last I had seen, it was 50,000 signatures. And also the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy have also been included in that. Z, I think you're looking at the
I'll read it for you right here. An open letter from the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy. To our fans and friends, we fully support James Gunn. We were all shocked by his abrupt firing last week and have intentionally waited these 10 days to respond in order to think, pray, listen, and discuss. In that time, we've been encouraged by the outpouring of support from fans, members of the media who wish to see James reinstated as director of Volume 3, as well as discouraged by those so easily duped into believing the many outlandish conspiracy theories surrounding him. So it seems kind of like all of the cast are on board with having him come back, and I think that the fact that James Gunn took this, with such professionalism, I think he could have easily gone on a tirade, gone on video to simply scream at Disney, and he didn't. He actually said, I understand. And Cory, you were saying earlier that he had acknowledged these.
Yeah, so these tweets are from 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Is that when Twitter first started? I don't know.
Something like 10 years ago.
My understanding is that he acknowledged that years ago, before he even started making the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, apologized, says, those are in poor taste. He's kind of a different person comedically now, and he doesn't like that type of humor. And so Disney didn't have to hire him to begin with, but they did. Yeah. And they made a lot of money, and he was successful with his movies.
Yeah.
And, and I saw a post recently, a couple of posts, but the first I'll go into is, it's ironic that Disney, of all people, is firing him for their history when Disney has made really bad decisions in
they
the
have
movies
dicks in the backgrounds of their movies.
And not only that, that's the movie that Splash Mountain is based on that they never show anywhere.
You're talking South, about
which is very racist. Same thing with the Crows.
Yeah.
And
and they can argue, right, that was released really long ago, and so
the same thing with the tweets. It's
a historic thing. But I think that because we are currently, in a place in which people are now saying hey, it's not okay to say things like this. It's a different
climate.
It's strange because I'm thinking about is this a response to the Me Too movement? But it doesn't feel that way. So it's just a very
Well, people are comparing this is to Roseanne.
Roseanne, yeah, that's exactly.
And I don't think it's exactly like Roseanne in the sense that
Roseanne is calling out somebody specifically. She's saying something racist in today's climate, not 10 years ago as some offhand joke directed at nobody. She was attacking somebody with racism.
Exactly.
Yeah. And for me, this is my own personal theory. I feel like Disney and Marvel wanted to fire James Gunn to begin with. I think that this was the perfect excuse because honestly, none of the cast members had any issues with him in directing, right? There's no weird sort of feelings about this director is terrible, right? I'm trying to think of which director kind of came out as being really awful on set, but you get none of that news. Clearly James Gunn is a really responsible director who knows how to direct and is on the side of his cast members. So the fact that all his cast members are coming out going hey, bring them back. It just smells to me Disney was moving in a direction, Disney and Marvel were moving in a direction that they didn't see James Gunn in, and this was the perfect excuse to fire him.
I wish all of his cast members would have come to his side earlier. I know Batista did
right away. The first ones, his brother.
Yeah, and everybody else kind of waited around to see what happened, I think.
Yeah.
And they see that support is on his side, and so I think they have more courage now to join his side. And that's probably the side they wanted to be on the entire time, but I think they were looking after their own necks,
for their careers.
Yeah. They're, they worked their entire lives to get there, and so they're...
But I can respect their decision to take 10 days to do so, because it's like, right, you don't want to jump in defense and then all of a sudden find out you're supporting Hitler. Like, not that that's the case here, but you know what I mean?
The tweets. They know what they.
Yeah. So I think some of them just wanted to take a look at them and be like, okay, this is definitely not okay. So
I mean, this was definitely a political move, but
that's a political move all the way. There's no other way around it. It just feels nasty.
The guy that brought this up was, I think, involved in Pizzagate, if you remember what that was.
No, go ahead.
I don't want to get too into it. So it was a conspiracy about Hillary Clinton having like a pedophilia ring and a pizza parlor. Yeah, some crazy, wacky conspiracy, and this guy was involved in
he's
that.
also made like avid rape jokes. So like, this is the guy you want to follow. You know, that's not right. And again, James Gunn did tweet these things out.
Yeah, we're not
I don't even think he made rape jokes. I think he said rape is okay if under certain circumstances. I don't know.
I think that's
exact language.
Yeah. But the point being, right, like two wrongs don't make a right, and James Gunn definitely tweeted these things out. However, you know, where is he at now? Is he no longer making these tweets? He's making movies for kids. Like it's not like he's like. You
got to understand, this is also a trauma guy. This, you know,
right?
I think of him as a comedian, and I think you get a little bit of leeway, not to say that you can make any joke you want, but you get to sort of find, you know, the joke, and sometimes you err.
Yeah. Sometimes you make mistakes. And
which also leads to a new president in time because, or precedent?
Yes.
Because Ryan Johnson deleted like a bunch of tweets as well. The other celebrities are now deleting some tweets that they don't want out.
Really?
So this is becoming a new like era in our time where like,
you really have to censor yourself.
Right. It's all about censorship, which is kind of scary if that's where we're heading towards.
Right.
It's all ammunition to be used against somebody.
Yeah. So it's on a more depressing note, but not for us, but for the company, MoviePass.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and take that story, Z.
Yeah. So MoviePass this past weekend had a giant fallout. Get it?
Nice.
Giant. In that their app was not working for anyone trying to check in theaters. Now, those who don't know, MoviePass is a monthly subscription that allows you to check into a theater and then go watch a big blockbuster movie once every day, or depending on your plan, 3 times out of the month. So, with that being said, they went out this weekend and they had to borrow $5 million in order to pay off theaters, to which MoviePass responded with that they're no longer going to be able to support big blockbuster movies on their app.
But I also want to say,
yes,
in the app itself, they just said they were having technical difficulties.
They did. They kind of announced it as a
server problem.
Exactly.
And it was all along like
sure.
It was all like bankruptcy basically for the company.
They couldn't afford to pay their bills.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was like their checks came in, they bounced, and then they had to struggle to pay them. We've all been there. So it just seems kind of like a dark time for those who have subscribed to MoviePass, because I'm a subscriber and obviously I rely on it. This is kind of a big deal because that means that people who have paid the yearly fee can't reverse their yearly fee. So not only that, but their stock market has dropped substantially.
Great time to buy.
It went from like 20, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like $26 all the way down to like less than $1. I think it's like 70 or 80 cents.
I'm sure I'm not looking at this correctly, but it says something around like $2.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think it closed out. I think on Friday it had closed out at less than $1.
It was $2.
It was $2.
Yeah, I just said that.
Okay.
Yeah. But I guess
for all you stock market junkies out there.
Yeah, so $2 is not a lot of money. They've also announced that for the foreseeable future, and this is important, for the foreseeable future, you will no longer be able to watch a big blockbuster film being released during that weekend.
Or not even a big blockbuster movie. It's just one of the latest.
How do they decide what's a good movie? Like,
because Christopher Robin, it's not going to. I mean,
it's going to make money, but also the Meg, which the Meg.
Yeah.
But that movie is definitely going to be up as the blockbuster film. Yeah. So before they were announcing that you're going to be charged a surcharge to help pay off the bills, but I don't know if at this point point they're going to continue with the surcharge or they're just dropping it entirely.
Well, they're going to have a GoFundMe.
I mean, they're going to have to, because at this point, really,
car wash.
it just seems like AMC is the better option. So for those of you who are on MoviePass, look elsewhere, because it looks like we're looking at a sinking ship.
Yep. Yeah, and I was reading some of the surcharges were as high up as $8.
Yeah,
which is crazy. So if you're doing $10 a month,
it's like more than the cost of a movie on a matinee.
Yeah, it is.
It is. How much? I mean, were you guys able to use MoviePass to watch Mission Impossible?
I was, but the app was saying that if you can go to a e-ticket, and the theater that I go to is an e-ticket.
Yeah,
so
you
had to disarm the e-ticket in order to get into the movie.
Yeah, we had to cut a blue wire at the same time, and then plutonium rolled out.
Yeah, and it just bounced slower without blowing up or anything. I mean, it was fine.
I actually signed up for AMC A-List.
Have you now?
To watch Mission Impossible.
Oh, you did?
No, actually, to watch a different movie, but with the intention of watching Mission Impossible wherever, at any AMC afterwards, which I did do. So, and I have to say, AMC A-List is a whole lot easier than MoviePass.
Really?
They just scan your AMC card. That's it, and you're done.
Okay.
So they actually convert.
So there's no check-ins. They're just
no check-ins, no nothing. So your AMC, if you have the AMC free card or the premium card, it actually, it's that exact identical card that just gets upgraded.
And this ad has been paid for by
AMC.
No, we're not. We're
not sponsored. Not yet.
Corporate shills.
So I am now technically the holder of both MoviePass and AMC A-List now.
Well, that might be the option for those who bought the yearly subscription, I feel like, because those people can't get their money back.
Yeah, unfortunately. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Dan?
Suckers.
Well, also, though, I wanted to just give like a silent moment for during Comic-Con. Unfortunately, we lost the king of the sweaties, John Schnepp, who me and Mike have spotlighted his film, The Death of Superman Lives What Happened, on our show. And we've met him a couple of times. He was a really great guy. And we just wanted to do a moment of silence in his honor because he was taken away too soon. And he was taken away right during Comic-Con, which was like his nerd heaven. And it was really somber experience there. So a little moment of silence, please. All right, thank you guys so much. Rest in peace, John Schnepp. We'll have links to his GoFundMe and PayPal for his fiancée, Holly Payne, to help donate anything you can for his medical bills and help her out for the funeral costs. So just check out our links and our iTunes, our audio podcast version. We'll have it up there. All right. Thank you, guys. On that note, let's go ahead and move on to the movie review of Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was, but
that was
a good trend. That's a good
menu.
There we go.
There it is.
Okay, the movie we're reviewing is Mission Impossible Fallout. It is written and directed by Christopher McQuarrie. It's based on the television series created by Bruce Geller. Here's the plot. Ethan Hunt and his IMF team, along with some familiar allies, race against time after a mission gone wrong. It stars Tom Cruise, Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, Sean Harris, Henry Cavill, Ving Rhames, and Angela Bassett. Alright, guys, so we have all seen this film. We shall decide if this movie's worth dining and watching in theaters, take out a way to watch at home, or leftovers. Choose not to accept this review.
There you go. And just blow yourself up.
And just blow yourself up.
There.
That's good. Okay.
So remember, this is spoiler-free review. So without giving too much away, whoever wins, we're in a points. Whoever has the most points at the end of the season will create a segment next season. Cory, as our special guest, you have the option to either keep the point or turn it in after you have 10 points to create a segment of your own, or after 10 points you get a boba or something to eat.
After all this time, I still don't understand how your point system works.
Neither do I. Neither do we.
So basically, you accumulate your own points, you count them up, and when you tell us which episodes you've been on and which ones you've won,
but we have to verify.
Then we have to verify for you first, and you have to make sure you make 3 copies of the podcast and then mail it to us individually, and then we will all independently prove that you have in fact won then 10 points.
But then you have to cash in the points still and let us know what you want.
Be sure you include the UPC code.
Yes, thank you. That would be really appreciated. And then we will go ahead and either choose to purchase you boba or not.
Or torta or horchata.
Sure.
That easy. Okay.
Easy payment.
Yeah, super easy. Yeah. Oh, you have to fax us also the podcast episode numbers. That's important.
Yeah. Okay.
We also accept smoke signals.
Yes. And bribes. We also accept bribes.
Yeah.
I like how you both said yes.
I'm good at bribes. I understand bribes.
Did the audience get that? Are we ready to go?
I think.
On that note,
yes.
let's rate this film. Cory, as our special guest, you may go first.
Dine in.
Z?
This movie is a hell yeah dine in 100%.
Ha ha ha. Mike?
Why did you ha 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 me? What does that even mean?
Because Dan directed it.
What was that? That was weird.
Go on, Mike.
Ha ha ha!
Because he got you this time.
I think so. I think he got me.
Yeah, it was a dine in as well.
Ha ha
ha.
Dan, what about you?
It is a dine-in.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yes, because you always talk shit about me liking this franchise.
I do, but I actually like this franchise, so it's one of those, like, I just like making fun of you for it.
And this franchise is one of the rare franchises that actually gets better with each film.
Franchise.
I thought you said French fries for a second.
French fries.
I like French fries.
This is the only film where French fries get better as you eat
My own
them.
French fries.
Would you convert to Scientology if they give you Tom Cruise French fries?
Oh,
No.
That's a obvious answer.
yes. All right. So this movie, you're right. This movie is actually way better than the previous ones. I think that you're absolutely right.
Wow.
And this movie,
Say that again.
okay, this movie is.
I'm absolutely right.
You're right. No, I'll give you credit where credit's due. Because I think what worked really well was that Christopher McQuarrie. This is his second Mission Impossible film that he's directed. In the previous films, it had been different directors every time, so it gave a different perspective, a different it was different directions, so it felt differently every episode. Let's call them episodes,
Right, but
this one
is a continuation from Rogue Nation.
Exactly. And if you watch Rogue Nation and Fallout next to each other, it just feels like a complete story, and it doesn't feel like a complete story in that, like, oh, this movie takes forever. It feels like a great fun ride.
But they also bring it back for part 3 as well, which I really enjoyed, because I thought part 3 is what got me into this franchise. I remember when we first reincarnated Movie Menu, or not reincarnated, when we first incepted the idea of Movie Menu, we had one of the first early episodes was Mission Impossible 3. We reviewed it, and I didn't want to see it. And I was like, no, not Mission Impossible. And I saw it, and I was like, oh, wow, this one was really good.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they have utilized the franchise and brought it back to many other movies as well.
Yeah, and I compared this franchise to the Fast and Furious franchise, and I know Dan's going to go, no, but
no,
it really does kind of benefit from the fact that they change directors every time, they build up the action every time, and I think the Mission Impossible film franchise, I don't know. I just feel like McQuarrie is the right spot to play. Like, I think he's such a fun director. Now, he's had some misses, but I think that he and Tom Cruise have figured out how to work really well together. And honestly, if they make another part for the series, I'll be excited to watch it.
Well, one thing about Steve, the good thing about them working together, they worked that thing on 25 films together, something ridiculous amount of
30, 40 films together.
You're talking about McQuarrie.
25, yeah, with McQuarrie and Tom Cruise.
That's a lot.
And so they already established this repertoire with each other. But with this film, their main goal was not to cheap out on the stunts, and they didn't. The stunt work in this film is probably on par, if not better, than like a Marvel movie.
Yeah, I agree. There's a moment in the movie where I was like, Tom Cruise can't run that fast. There's no way he can run that fast.
He ran across like the entire city
in 3 minutes.
He did like a sprint marathon.
Yeah, he did. It was really funny. But yes, I agree. I think this movie's action is definitely. I think it's better than.
I mean, I'm surprised.
I would say that's better. So just to address that, Dan, real quickly, I think it's better than the Marvel series because it's all live action. It's all on camera, and there's not a lot of CGI that's working here. And I think that just makes it way better.
I'm just surprised that the worst that came out of this film was Tom Cruise just breaking his ankle and nothing else. Because there are so many crazy stunts in this film where they had to build a special suit for him to skydive from very high altitude so he wouldn't die.
Wow.
Exactly.
Did they have to?
He could have just Captain America that shit. Just throw him out the plane.
I'll figure it out.
And all those car chase scenes, hand-to-hand combats, and I really like how they utilize like everyone, even Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, Sean Harris. They were all kick-ass fighters. Henry Cavill.
Okay. Henry Cavill in this film, by the way, was a fucking beast.
Now you understand why he kept his mustache.
No. I think he could have still shaved it off.
Digitally removed it for Justice League. I think they made the right call on this.
If we're talking about which film Henry Cavill's in the best, then it's clearly this one. But his mustache and his beard, and then like the way he fought in this was just. Like, I literally screamed. Like, I didn't scream, but I went...
You squealed.
No, I literally went like, oh! Like, when he hit the guy, like, it was just intense. Like, I felt the pain.
When he hit the guy.
Which guy?
Which guy? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the Asian guy in the bathroom. Like, that fight that you see in the trailer is just, like, watching it on screen.
Where you see him, like, lock out his arm.
Yeah, well, he's got to charge up his hands.
Like, pumped up.
Yeah.
Which I have to say, too, about the trailers. I feel like the trailers were misleading in a good way as far as what was happening. Because, like in watching the trailer, like I thought it was Henry Cavill fighting Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that's what I thought,
and so I thought.
Oh yeah, so did I. Yeah.
Hands off to the trailer editors as well, because they did an amazing job at tricking you as far as how the plot's going to go. I was like, oh, this is the scene in the trailer where this happens. Nope, that's not what happens.
No, and I know we've talked about this before in the past as to like how certain trailers give away too much. I think the trailer houses they're using now are doing a really good job of misleading the audiences. Right, we saw this for Avengers. We saw this for I forget which other films, but we have actually Deadpool was completely misleading. So we've actually seen a lot of trailers that just mislead the audiences, and I think you're absolutely right with this one. You really weren't sure where Henry Cavill's role came in, and I think that just made for the action to be that much better because you didn't know who was at risk to die, and I think that's really good filmmaking. That's really good stylistic choices for trailers, and Henry Cavill in this was awesome. Like it was just fun to watch him.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about the other cast members. Like Rebecca Ferguson comes back for this film,
who, by the way, was pregnant while filming this.
Really?
She was 7 months pregnant while filming this. So, I mean, they did a fantastic job of being able to shoot around that. Because honestly, if I knew she was pregnant while watching it, I would have been like, "Oh no, don't do that to the pregnant woman! You just hit her with the car." So
that's why you can only see her from the shoulders up.
That's probably why. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I noticed.
That's why he said it.
Well, good on you. Then you caught it better than I did. Yeah, so she was pregnant. Rebecca Ferguson was fantastic in this as well.
Yeah, she had a great performance. Simon Pegg was great. Ving Rhames
was really good.
Yeah,
he had a bigger role, I think, than
more utilizing this.
And I think Simon Pegg took a little bit of a backseat.
He did. Yeah, I think he did. But I also really enjoyed Sean Harris in this.
Yeah,
Sean Harris.
I enjoyed him more in this movie than I did in Rogue Nation.
Yeah, Rogue Nation. He kind of like played like the typical Bond villain, like in the background. Yeah. But in this one, he was in the foreground and he was ominous. And every moment you saw him on screen, I got a flare of Rasputin, like that sort of maniacal genius that's locked in the box, but knows how to get out, but he chooses to be in that box. So
he's like they try to make him like Spectre, but he's a better version of Spectre.
Much better. Well, and to be fair, right, this is a story told in 2 different parts.
Yeah.
So I think it helps to give that role more time to develop, and you add more fear because you saw him in the previous film, and in this one you really saw how much his fingers were in everything. So I thought that was really cool.
Now, I like how, even though I felt like it was some parts were predictable, but this movie is not like a mystery film, so I still enjoyed it. But did you guys get? There were moments of like shock, I guess, or were you guys ever?
I think I kind of knew who the bad guys were, who was really going to double cross who. Yeah. But didn't matter.
Yeah, things didn't matter. It's like it was kind of like The Incredibles too. Like you know who it is, but you're still enjoying the ride.
Yeah, yeah. There was one leap that was, and I'll talk about it more during spoilers. But there was one leap where I was like, "Oh, come on." But aside from that one, I agree with Cory. The movie moves so quickly. The action is so phenomenal.
It doesn't let up.
It doesn't let up, and there are moments in it where I'm just like, how are you gonna get out of that? I'll figure it out. And you're like, good luck, buddy.
He must have done that like 10 times.
Oh, I thought it was great. I thought that was a beautiful line.
But you know what I liked as well? Even though he's a spy, he's not perfect. He still screws it up. But which is is not the type of like James Bond, the classic James Bond at least, where it's like it was perfectly got everything, whatever.
Yeah.
No, he would like fumble and like mess up.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of the
which
setup.
Is more realistic.
Yeah, and that's kind of the setup of the movie, right? The setup of the movie is that
he makes a choice.
He makes a choice to save his friends.
Creates some consequences.
Yeah, so I thought that was, I don't know, like I really need to rewatch the films, but I don't know if that's like a retcon, like it feels new for the character, but I thought it was a great addition.
No.
I think going back to the original, he was more methodical, more planning. This is like he just had some obstacle right in front of him and had to make a decision in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like the entire movie.
And you know what though?
No, because in like in part 3, he tries to save Kerry Russell's character like out of that. So I mean, there's been signs of him doing that throughout the film. It's just in this movie, it really screwed him up.
Well, and I think that Michelle Monaghan's character kind of gives you a reason why he's acting so screwy in the story. And again, we'll go a little bit more into it in the spoiler section. But like, I really do feel like they gave a reason as to why he's not like the character we saw in part 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything you want to add, Mike?
No, I think it was just super fun. Tons of action, and I really enjoyed all the villains in this, which I'll save for spoilers as well. But the action sequences are pretty painful. And I like how the film was a lot bloodier than I expected it would be as well, which I enjoyed.
I agreed. We have a couple comments.
Yeah, go for it.
Heather says, "Hey guys."
Hey Heather.
Hey, how's it going, Heather?
And then my good friend Nabor, he says, "Hola, I'm looking forward to seeing this film. Hola everyone, abrazos." Hey,
Hola.
Nabor.
His name is Bor?
Nabor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about the stunt work more, and how everything they did was pretty much non-CGI. It was practical stunt work for the most part.
Yeah.
Was there... Now, in the trailer, you gotta see the stunt where he broke his ankle.
Yeah.
What stunt? If that... Well, I guess we can't talk about that.
Yeah, it's a lot of spoilers going on there, but just to address the action, you can tell that... Okay. So, not to address the action, but to address a little bit of the plot in this movie. Did anybody else feel like this movie was a bit of a knockoff of The Dark Knight Rises? There were a lot of Dark Knight Rises imagery in this film.
No.
No? Okay.
Just you.
Just me. Okay, so, I mean, I don't know, but there's a lot of imagery in this film that just felt a little bit Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight, just Dark Knight. But... Okay, I'll talk about it later. But it just feels like this film was building...
That skydiving stuff.
The skydiving stuff was there? Yeah.
That was pretty damn dark.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyways, I thought that was interesting. But yeah, the action sequences of this film just kind of build up off each other. Would it be spoiler to talk about that skydiving scene, though?
Yeah, it's a spoiler. Yeah. Now,
okay.
You talked about how if they did another one, you'd be excited for it.
Yes.
Would the rest of you guys be excited to make another film? Now, apparently, they came out and said like
this might be the last one.
No, that Ethan Hunt will always be
Tom Cruise.
No, there will always be a Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible. So, would you guys want to see an Ethan Hunt without Tom Cruise in it?
Oh, I see.
Or Mission
I guess
Impossible?
it's
Pretty damn good.
It was like
I don't think it would
it's-
be the same.
No,
I mean,
now it's
obviously it wouldn't be.
now Mission Impossible is taking on the American version of James Bond. Do you consider Ethan Hunt the American James Bond?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
It's better than Jack
Yeah.
Reacher, so yeah.
yeah. I would say yes, and and I think Tom Cruise has done such a great job in that role that it would be hard to replace him. I think it would be great to always see him playing that character, and as he gets older, it would also be interesting to see how the character itself changes. It kind of reminds me of like
He just breaks his ankles every time.
I'd be okay with that. But like I imagine like if they wrote out like if they had written like an older Ethan Hunt character, like how would that character respond to things? How would the action be? Like
Be much slower. He would take a lot more breaks.
A lot more potty breaks.
Yeah, exactly. Let's think about this, guys.
But I guess
It's
if
like it's 4 o'clock, guys. It's dinner time. We gotta stop.
Moped chases.
yeah. But
Wheelchair chases.
Wheelchair chases. Sure.
if he was ever replaced, though, I think it would just depend who's replacing him. And I agree with Cory that it wouldn't be the same, but depending on who did replace him, it would depend on whether or not that film was.
Who would you want to see replace him?
Yeah,
that begs the question.
Yeah, that's a great. That is.
Hopefully
It is a
we-
great question
Yeah,
that I asked.
Hopefully, we won't have to find out anytime soon. Especially if he does another one. Let's be more cautious with the stunts. No need to break your ankles for every film or more.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the whole story overall?
I enjoyed the whole story overall, and there were some things in the story that were predictable, but I think there were a lot of twists and turns as far as like you knew characters were going to betray each other, but you didn't know how, and it was just fun to see. It was like watching someone play a complicated chess game.
I thought there were some wasted things that they set up. I don't want to spoil anything, but they, alluded to certain bad guys that never really materialized that I kind of wanted to see.
Remember that thought when we get into
yeah,
spoilers,
yeah.
so we can delve more into it.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed the story, and it's funny because like with every Mission Impossible film, they're always having to stop someone so it's like the same formula, but they always seem to enhance it somehow with each film. And this one just was a lot more smoother with the storyline, and the pacing was a lot better. That was a fun ride to follow.
Yeah, I agree.
Any last thoughts before we go into our spoiler section?
Go watch the movie and then come back.
You did you see this in 3D or 4D
No.
or IMAX then?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I should have though. But I think I would have broken an ankle watching it in 4D because there's just so much action in this film. I don't think anyone should be able to handle that much.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually was watching this film thinking like this will be a really fun 4D.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
I think this one might actually be really fun to watch because it's like as soon as the rumbling happens in this film, there's enough action that kind of like it would be enjoyable to watch this with a rumble pack and water being thrown at your face.
We have a couple more comments.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jay Visual gives us a thumbs up.
Hey, Jay
How's it
Visual.
going, Jay?
Vigo Espinosa didn't say a thing at all.
Rigo said nothing?
Nothing. No,
That doesn't sound like Rigo at all.
Jay.
No, he's spoiler. Tom Cruise runs. Spoiler. Tom Cruise runs millions of miles. Dan didn't watch it. He's not an AMC A-lister. No, because I'm an A-lister on my own. Thank you.
Is Rigo just talking trash?
What's up, Rigo?
Yes, and Jay Visual, and he is never tired when he runs.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Well, they do show him kind of like panting a little bit, but not enough.
There's no way a human could do it.
No. Yeah, you need to pause quite a bit.
Fucking PCP or something.
We got another thumbs up from Michael Angel Collin.
Hey.
Thank you.
All right, so that would do it for our spoiler-free review. We're gonna head over to our spoiler review, which you can find out tomorrow on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to your podcast. We will have the spoiler review out then. Thank you so much, Cory, for being on the show. Is there anything you want to plug?
I would like to plug Toyota
laptop?
Camry, which was a pop-up that I saw earlier. HoobaCanoes.com. HOOBA Canoes.com. That's a website.
How do you spell
What was it
canoes?
again?
What's on there? Who knows? You got to go to find out.
Yeah, how do you spell canoes?
Can you say it again, Cory?
Canoes. So Hooba, HOOBA,
Uh-huh.
CANOES.com.
Thank you.
Good job.
It's a corporate satire website.
Rigo says it's definitely a dine-in.
Yeah, definitely.
Rigo, go home. We already passed
He
that.
is home, isn't he?
He kind of is probably.
He's at
Oh.
AMC.
He's probably.
He's probably at AMC. Because he's an A-lister. Thank you so much, Z. Thank you so much, Mike.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Dan.
Dan the Man. Until next time, goodbye.
See you later.
2, 3, 4.